Good after yesterday, everybody. Today, I'm going to be getting the perfect gear in Minecraft. Some of y'all may be wondering, what exactly is the perfect gear? So I devised an elaborate and in-depth explanation to go over exactly what I mean. I'm just gonna get every enchantment possible for Netherrite armor and tools. Yeah. The only enchants I won't be getting are Knockback 2 because, well, it's Knockback 2 and Frostwalker 2 because it's just the worst enchantment in the game. Like, seriously, what is the point of it? If you try to sprint jump with Frostwalker 2, you just fall in the water, so it's not any faster than just using a boat. And if you want to use Frostwalker 2 to build highways or something, then good luck, because the ice just melts in like 2 seconds. And on top of all of that, it's extremely hard to obtain because it's a treasure enchant, meaning you can't even get it from an enchantment table.
Actually, Curse of Binding and Curse of Vanishing are the worst enchantments in the game.
No, they're not, Bartholomew, because at least you can prank your friends with the curses, while Frostwalker 2 is literally pointless. Anyways, in order to obtain perfectly enchanted netherite gear, I needed to actually get the netherite, and all I have so far is a diamond pickaxe. It looks like it's time to go mining. It started off great. I was able to find my first 2 diamonds in no time at all, but then a massive storm decided to take out my power for the next 5 hours, and when I came back, they were gone. This was greatly discouraging, but I continued on and was able to find about 12 more diamonds. This sounds great, but 12 diamonds just doesn't make up for the amount of times I almost died. I'll take it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Don't blow up the boat. Oh, happening. Oh no. Oh no.
Are those diamonds worth dying for?
I think they are. No, we're not risking. No. Oh my god. Half a heart already. What is this game? What am I doing? What is happening? I'm not going back for those diamonds. I'm not going back for those diamonds. After the half a heart incident where I definitely should have died, I decided it was time to cut my losses and try getting diamonds a different way. After some very in-depth research, I found the most efficient way to strip mine, and about 100 blocks of mining later, I had already collected about 15 diamonds, meaning I've obtained 27 of the 31 diamonds needed for armor and tools. I was feeling great and thought I'd be able to get the remaining diamonds after just 100 or so more blocks. I couldn't have been more wrong. I proceeded to spend the next hour and a half wasting 6 iron pickaxes and going through over 1,200 blocks of deep slate until I finally found another vein of diamonds. And it was a 3 vein. I was 1 diamond short of my goal, over 1,000 blocks away from my house, and a little bit sad. But this wasn't enough to stop me. I turned right around and started mining my way all the way back home and came back with a grand total of 36 diamonds. This was way more than I needed, so I was able to get an enchantment table and a jukebox as well. Unfortunately, I didn't have any discs to listen to, but that doesn't matter. I had accomplished the first step in getting perfect gear. I had full diamond tools and armor. Now it was time to get the netherite. Even though netherite is very valuable, from what I've seen, it doesn't look like it's that hard to get. All you have to do is go down to Y level 14 and just start blowing up beds, right? As usual, I was wrong, and things didn't really go according to plan. I had the amazing luck of spawning right on top of a floating island above a massive lava lake with all the surrounding islands floating above lava as well, making it impossible for me to mine down to the correct Y level without dropping to my fiery death. I had to travel over 300 blocks away in order to find an area of the nether that actually connected to the ground, which doesn't sound like a lot, and it really isn't. But for me, going anywhere in the nether is a massive risk. I had finally made it to Y level 14 and started blowing up beds as one does in the nether. I was getting annoyed with how much durability the beds were taking off my armor, so I thought I would try a different bed placement tactic to see if it would make a difference. And I guess it did make a difference. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't think I'll be trying that again. After going through about 20 beds, I had obtained a grand total of 11 ancient debris. Not exactly enough for full netherite, so I thought I must have been doing something wrong. I looked up a tutorial and realized I had completely forgot to put all the beds on chunk borders, exponentially lowering my chances of finding ancient debris. As soon as I learned this, I went back home, bred several generations of sheep, and came back to the nether with almost 3 stacks of wool. This new strategy was amazing, and I was able to get a ton of ancient debris. But after almost 3 stacks of wool, I was left with a single bed and in need of 1 more piece of ancient debris. It's just gonna give it to me. Can't look. Oh, I can look. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, it's a double vein. What? Finally, after almost dying to lava 53 times, I had full netherite gear. Now after all of that, it was time to start the hardest step, getting the perfect enchantments. The first step in getting perfect enchants is to just mindlessly enchant and disenchant gear using an enchantment table until you finally get decent starting enchants. Ooh! So that the enchants you get from the villagers don't cost too much XP later on. This was going to take a ton of XP. If only I had a mob spawner farm to speed up the process. Oh wait, I do. And not just one spawner, but two. I may or may not have forgotten to mention that I spent several hours building a double cave spider spawner farm earlier in order to get these enchantments as efficiently as possible. After an embarrassing amount of hours, I had finally got the base enchants for all my gear. It was time to go on the hunt for a village so that I could force all the villagers to live in extremely cramped spaces so I could get the perfect enchants. After all the base enchantments, I still needed Aqua Affinity, Mending, Silk Touch, Unbreaking 3, Fortune 3, Death Strider 3, Soul Speed 3, Thorns 3, Feather Falling 4, Sharpness 5, and Efficiency 5. The only enchantment I can't get from villagers is Soul Speed 3, which can only be obtained from trading with piglins or in Bastion chests, but we'll get to that later. After traveling a casual 3,000 blocks, I was able to find my first village, where I got 7 of the 11 enchants I needed. Thankfully, there was another village nearby, and I was able to get the remaining enchants with no issues, except for Sharpness 5. Sharpness 5 took forever to get compared to the other enchants, but I had finally got it. Or so I thought. I left for like 5 minutes to go get materials to trade for more emeralds so I could actually get the Sharpness 5 book. And when I came back, disaster had struck. No, don't really need it. What? My Sharpness 5 villager. What? Why are you not Sharpness 5 anymore? The Sharpness 5 enchant was gone, and I had to break and replace lecterns hundreds of times. Again. Just getting the enchantment books alone took over 10 hours, and I streamed it all on Twitch, so if you want to see content like this live, the link is in the description. At last, I had all the enchantments I needed besides Soul Speed 3 and was finally able to return home. Once I got back, I decided to go to the Nether for Soul Speed, which, like I mentioned earlier, is only obtainable through Bastions and Piglin trades, making it extremely difficult to obtain. But of course, me being the best Minecraft player to ever exist, found a Bastion in like 5 minutes, and then this happened. Oh, a chest. Watch it, there's Soul Speed 3 right here. Oh! I quickly returned home super excited that all my hard work was finally starting to pay off, and got everything enchanted perfectly except for my boots. Before enchanting my boots in hardcore, I tried testing the enchantments in creative first to make sure it was possible. Everything seemed fine and it worked perfectly, so I went back to hardcore to test it, and it said it was too expensive. Unbeknownst to me, while in creative mode, the too expensive icon doesn't come up no matter how much XP it costs, meaning I now had a book with 5 enchantments specifically for boots that was completely useless and couldn't be put on anything. After some more testing, in survival this time, I figured out that it was still possible to get the perfect boots, I just had to enchant them in a specific way. I decided to first go back to the Bastion to look for Soul Speed 3, but after looking through every single chest in the entire Bastion, I've found that there were no other Soul Speed 3 books, leaving me with one choice. I had to trade with piglins. You may be thinking, oh, that's not that bad. Bastions have a ton of gold anyways, all you have to do is collect it and then use that gold to trade with the piglins. This is true. However, getting a Soul Speed 3 book is still extremely difficult to obtain from trading. Piglins only have a 1.09% chance of dropping a book. That doesn't mean just Soul Speed 3, it means it could be Soul Speed 1, 2, or 3, which leaves me with about a 1 in 300 chance of getting a Soul Speed 3 book from trading. About an hour and 4 stacks of gold later, I had beaten the incredible odds and finally obtained another Soul Speed 3 book. I then went back to the overworld, traveled the 3,000 blocks back to my villagers, spent another 2 hours getting all the books for my boots again, and then traveled the 3,000 blocks back home where I was finally able to enchant my boots correctly. Finally, after spending countless hours mining for diamonds, mining for netherite, trading with villagers, trading with piglins, and killing thousands of spiders, I had obtained the perfect gear in Minecraft. The perfect boots, the perfect sword, the perfect pickaxe, the perfect axe, the perfect shovel, and the perfect hoe. Let's go!